Hello, Dargz channel. It has officially been more than a week that we have been uploading on this channel, which is absolutely crazy. I didn't bring it up in the map pad video that I made yesterday because I was just kind of upset by that situation, so I forgot to acknowledge it in that video. But I did want to acknowledge it because I think it does tell me that I can make these videos every single day, if not very, very frequently, and have it not be that taxing on my actual day itself, which I think is pretty motivating, especially with how much the channel has grown in such a short amount of time. Speaking of which, we just put out a new main channel video yesterday where I promoted this one, and since then, the subscriber count on this channel has more than doubled. We are now officially sitting at 1,000 subscribers on the Dargz channel. I know we can do it. I'd like to thank all of my friends and family for this monumental occasion. This is the biggest thing that has ever happened to me in my life, and I am very happy to be standing here right now. Jokes aside, I am actually really happy of how much this channel has grown in such a short amount of time. Just a week ago, this channel was completely dead, and we managed to grow over 900 subscribers in that time, which I think is really cool. So if you're from the main channel and you just came here from the last upload, well, hi. Welcome to the Dargz channel. This is what we do down here. We cover daily commentary topics. That's kind of the memo. This is a topic that's either going to age like fine wine or milk, depending on what happens in the future. But with how things are seeming to project, I honestly think that this game is completely safe from this fate. So it should be rule of thumb by now that if something gets popular, even if it isn't for the target audience, it's always going to get popular among children. This has been happening time and time again throughout the decade. Obviously, there's a bunch of mascot horror games like Poppy Playtime, that's pretty obvious. And non-mascot horror games that children can obviously still enjoy, like Among Us. But every once in a while, there is something that gets popular, but does not have any relation to the core demographic that these things are targeting at all, that still get targeted. A really good example back from a few years ago was Squid Game. That got huge with kids out of nowhere, despite the show being like a gritty Korean drama. So that was completely unexpected, and I guess the only reason why it did get popular is just because of the core concept and the character designs, which usually is enough to carry these things. And we saw that proven again just last year too with The Amazing Digital Circus. Not something that is catered to the content farm Poppy Playtime crowd, but still somehow got roped into that. So it should always just be rule of thumb that if something gets really popular in the online space and a lot of creators are putting eyes and attention on it, it's likely going to be picked up by people like this for the views. Although, in recent time, I think there has been one exception to that, and it is the most unexpected exception out of anyone that I could guess. So, if you haven't been living under a rock, you have almost most certainly heard of Lethal Company. This game has gotten monumental in the last few months. Like, I think the only thing that could ever compare to the success of this indie game was like Among Us from 3 years ago now, which a lot of people are calling this game the spiritual successor to Among Us, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think the only things that make it similar to Among Us are just the fact that it's space themed and that it's multiplayer, but that's besides the point. It is undeniable that this game is absolutely enormous right now, enough to even outsell the last Call of Duty game that came out recently. And it makes complete sense too. The game is incredibly fun and incredibly funny. I was talking to my friend and fellow content creator Quinamon about it a few days ago, and we really want to get some of our other content creator friends down to play it on a stream sometime. Definitely not on this channel though, and probably not on my main either. I don't really plan to do much streaming anytime soon, but just keep a lookout for that. We might set something like that up in the future. But yes, like I said, it is completely understandable why the game has gotten as big as it is, and I think it certainly deserves all the recognition it's gotten. But usually, when a piece of media gets this popular and has the setting and character designs that Lethal Company does, this thing should have been all over YouTube Kids. But it has not been. Like, at all. I tried my hardest to find content farms relating to Lethal Company. I searched through every single channel that I can think of, but nothing. Almost all of them are still on Ban or Digital Circus. And Skibbity Toilet. You can't forget about Skibbity Toilet. And this is just something that I kind of wanted to point out as it came to an absolute shock to me. The designs of the Lethal Company employees, I think, would have carried this enough to be involved in content farm stuff. They're literally like if you just combined the Squid Game guards with the little Among Us characters. Like, it would have been perfect. But no, surprisingly, nothing regarding this game has had anything linked to that at all yet. And I honestly don't think it's going to be. Lethal Company has been out since October now, so it's had 3 months to grow and get huge in the online space. And I certainly think we've already reached the peak of Lethal Company content on YouTube. So if content farms don't jump on it now, they're going to completely miss their opportunity to. And in all honesty, with how fast things move on the internet, it may be too late. Which, you know, is probably a blessing, even though it would have been really fucking funny to see some of those videos. Like, the Amazing Digital Circus stuff was completely out of left field to me. I was not expecting that to be the thing that gets picked up by content farms. So seeing all the things that have been coming out for that has been absolutely absurd. More people have talked about it in depth, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but just looking up Amazing Digital Circus on YouTube leads you down some very bizarre rabbit holes if you're ever bored. And I mean, you can say that about a lot of things. You could say that about Poppy Playtime, Skibbity Toilet, Rainbow Friends, Ban. If you're ever bored on a Friday evening, just YouTube search something that's really popular with kids currently. And if you get some buddies involved with you, you're likely going to be entertained for a couple of hours. This is something I wanted to ramble about for a while now because I really did look hard and I couldn't find anything. So I do kind of have to give props to Zeekers for being able to avoid the content farm curse. I don't know how you did it. Everything was setting up to be against you, but somehow you did it, you crazy son of a bitch. Congratulations on having a fan base where the majority of the player base is 12 and up. That is getting exceedingly rare for popular things, even if it's completely divorced from the target audience. But you never know. Lethal Company is only 3 months old still. It might have just not taken up steam just yet, but maybe if it starts fizzling out with the older crowd, it'll start getting really, really big with the younger crowd. But I do think a lot of these content farms are very, very behind, and maybe this is just something that they're going to have to miss out on, which, you know, keeps the integrity of the game itself, which I think is really good. But I can't lie, it is a shame that we're never going to see Lethal Company fake gameplay videos animated in Blender in like 2 minutes. But small price to pay, I guess. Again, I just kind of want to give you all a big thank you for the direction the channel has been taking lately. We're getting a lot bigger than I thought we would in this short of amount of time. So once again, I am very, very happy with that. All of you are really, really great. And I hope I can continue this for a long while, as I do have a lot of fun making these videos. I'll certainly talk to all of you again very, very soon. And remember to subscribe if you haven't to already. We're going to be making these very frequently. Okay, that's all I really needed to talk about this time. Congratulations, Zeekers, and once again, I've been Dargz, and I'm gonna leave now. Bye-bye.